Welcome back to Popcorn Chicken. We are back. We are bubbling. We're ready to go. We're about to crack out of the pot here with some Hollywood rumors and news and everything in between. And plus, we got to talk about all the toxic fandom out there. There's a specific fandom that just won't let it go. We'll talk about it later on today. But got to bring in the man who butters my popcorn. It's the Sheldon Meister.
I'm grossed out. Buddy? I'm grossed out.
What are you doing?
Butter your pot. God damn, dude.
That better be coffee, really strong coffee. Is it?
Now I'm wishing it was something more delusional and stronger, man. Need to get that memory out of my head.
You better drug me too. How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going.
Woo. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
It's been a long minute.
I'm excited. You don't know how happy I am right now to get Popcorn Chicken back going, because I miss talking about all the craziness that happens in Hollywood, all the fun things, the bad things, and the nutty things,
the crazy things.
And the nutty things we'll talk about later on today. So, as the title says, Snyder's fan base is very toxic. Are they? We'll have some examples of the toxicity. Is it toxicity? Yeah.
Toxicity.
Toxicity that's happening on X. Now, it's crazy because when the algorithm sees you looking at something, all it does is just inundates you over and over again with the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the mistake of going, what's going on here? What's happening here with this fight about Superman? So I started looking into it, and now I just can't.
Stop.
No, not stop. I can't make it stop. It's just too much. It's like, shut up, everybody. Relax.
Yeah, the algorithm will show you what you want to see, and you saw what you got to see, and that's all you'll ever see.
And I'm regretting every minute of it now. I'm trying to go look at ponies and bears and cute little things now, and the algorithm is like, nope, you're coming right back to this cesspool.
Jesus.
I'm like, but what cute, funny rabbits and stuff like that.
You need a cleansing of your algorithm. Yeah.
I had to get another account.
Oh my God.
I have 2 accounts, right? So I'm like, I went to the other account. I'm like, I'm staying away from this account for a while.
No.
It's pretty bad. Anyways, what's not bad is there are birthdays this week we'll talk about. So if you're new here, welcome. If you are surfing the internet and you happen to jump on here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Come hang out with us. We're going to try to be consistent on Sundays, give or take, depending on if we have things going on in our lives. I know in a month from now, I might not be available for most Sundays because it's summer, and my wife would have my head on a stick if I don't spend time with the family.
Fair.
So we'll figure it out. We'll try to get things out there. We're going to go try see a movie or two. I've got some things lined up for you, Sheldon. So
okay.
We're going to go see a couple of movies, and we're going to report right out of the theater our thoughts on it. It'll be a spoiler free right out of the gate, so it's fresh in our minds.
Okay.
Right. So we'll do that in the summer. I think summertime is fun to do those kind of things. You get out there and kind of, catch some movies. We'll try to catch. My goal is to catch at least 3 movies this summer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to assume Superman.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be fantastic, but I got to see it, right? So I see that. And then it's going to be either a random movie or it's going to be Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The big alien Jurassic monster that can think and grab people and stalk shit.
Do Sudoku as well.
Pretty soon he'll be able to communicate telepathically with people, I'm sure.
Oh man, it just gets weirder. That franchise just needs to put a lid on it, but we'll see. They might shock us.
Maybe we'll get a crossover with Fast and the Furious at some point.
He rides dinosaurs now.
Yeah, Charger gets blown up. He hops on Bessie, who's a goddamn hybrid of a T-Rex and a Triceratops.
But this time the Tyrannosaurus Rex, it's all about family.
That's right.
No, I'm gonna check it out because you know what? They're trying to bring it back to the old original ones where you get the scare factor.
to that horror style, right?
Yeah, which is what Jurassic Park's so good.
That's what I heard.
Terrifying, not fun and cute and cuddly.
Right. Yeah. I had a buddy tell me about, like, he was listening to the audiobooks for Jurassic Park, and he's like, the books compared to the movies are way more terrifying and graphic than what we got to see in the movies. And he's like, I hope this is what this new movie is like leaning towards.
All we want to do is get entertained and be on the edge of our seats in theaters. That's all we want. Right?
Yeah.
We go there to escape the harshness of reality for a lot of people. Right. And we don't want to be going there and then get lectured how to live our lives.
Absolutely.
Right. We got enough people out there in our world to teach us how to be better or for worse. We don't need more people in Hollywood to teach us how to do that. So especially Hollywood. So yeah, anyways, we'll get into the Snyder toxicity fans, and then we'll talk about The Last of Us season 2. Which, I know you're gonna say "I told you so" line's gonna drop at some point today, and I'm gonna fully eat my crow with my fork and hot sauce later today. We're gonna talk about some things that have been dropping recently, as of just last 24 hours. Some news from Hollywood, but let's start with some birthdays, like we've always done in the past.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about birthdays starting now. Happy birthday to Ian McKellen. Magneto.
He's got to be pushing like 70 or 75 now.
Let me ask you something. Which is more of a bigger role for him, Magneto or Gandalf?
Oof, Gandalf.
Really?
I think so.
Because he's done more Magneto than Gandalf.
Magneto is true. Magneto was cool, but there's something about like him and the wisdom of Gandalf is just like fatherly to people,
I still can't get that scene out of my head where he goes, "You shall not pass."
That was epic. Right? That was epic.
That because that's where he dies. Well, dies, right?
That's where that version of Gandalf dies.
And you're as you're watching this, and I never read the books, right? So I don't know what I was getting myself into, and I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming." I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess the journey ends here. I guess." Frodo, you're screwed, bro.
Yeah,
I just lost the one guy that can do magic.
I feel like a lot of people felt that way that never read the books. You're like, what the shit? They just lost the most powerful dude.
Oh, you're screwed. Gimli ain't gonna save you. So yeah, I always wanted to read the books, but I never got into it because I was like, at that time, I was a teenager.
Right.
I had a million other things to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but after the movie trilogy ended, I went and read the books, and I'm like, whoa, the books are so much better. And it's always the case, right? You just said it right now.
Typically,
right?
Yeah.
It's always because they can pack more information into books rather than in a movie.
Yeah.
Right. And also, there's always directors and writers in Hollywood says, we don't need this. We don't need that.
Yeah. They like to set their own interpretations.
We want to make our own version. And it hardly goes well. But credit to Peter Jackson. I think he did a pretty good job.
He did. I would say he did, man. I don't think anybody can come close to what he's done with those. With
at the time period, with the limited technology that he had,
yeah,
he did a good job, I think.
Yeah,
far better than what Rings of Power is doing with a bigger budget. Like, I mean, their budget is like what, 3 or 4 times bigger than Peter Jackson's?
Yeah, significantly.
And they're just turning out turds, which we have reviewed, unfortunately, for the last. Well, we did the last season, right? We did the last one,
season 2. Yeah,
yeah, and it was like calling it a turd might be a good thing, right? It might just. I think it was worse than a turd. It was like more like a runny diarrhea. That's what it was.
There was just a lot of liberties taken with what they were doing.
Liberties, bad acting, bad CGI, unnecessary nonsense where the girl holds up the arrow and shoots, and we're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
If I knew who you were, I'd be more sympathetical towards what you're doing. But I saw you for 30 seconds.
About that, yeah. They introduced characters that made it seem like they were gonna be significant, and then just had nothing to do with them whatsoever.
You could have been the daughter of the king, and I would have had more sympathy towards you. But
Mhm.
you're just some lackey.
A nobody.
I have no emotional attachment to your character. So, anyways, we keep veering off here. But Ian, how old is he? You think?
I gotta say at least 70, 75. 75. I'm gonna say 75.
Okay. Ian McKellen is 86 years old.
Oh shit. Oh no, that's so sad. He's so old.
What's
Oh no, man.
he's still there. He didn't die.
He's 86, man. Like you
Still alive.
You pushing the veil there, dude.
This guy, you stop it. I still want to see him Gandalf again.
Oh shoot.
All right, okay. We got a Canadian actor.
Oh,
Birthday, Mike Myers.
oh, okay.
How old is Mike Myers? Favorite? Okay, by the way, Wayne's World favorite?
Wayne's World was kind of before my time.
Okay,
but I did end up seeing.
Okay,
I grew up with him as Austin Powers rather than Wayne's World.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, I eventually saw Wayne's World, but Austin Powers is my go-to for him. That's how I know him.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I watched Wayne's World and I laughed my ass off with the stupidity in that both movies that they did. It's just so dumb, but it's so funny, right? Wayne's World is I don't want to say poor man's, but I would say a lesser version of Dumb and Dumber. I have Dumb and Dumber as number one. I have Dumb and Dumber as number one.
I can see that. I can see that now that you put that like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't want to say poor man's because it was a good movie on its own, right?
It was, yes.
On its own. So I would say just one step below Dumb and Dumber as a duo, right?
Yeah.
How old is Mike Myers?
53.
Mike Myers is 62.
Oh, damn, he's old too. Damn. Oh shit.
Sheldon, you know what this means, right? If they're old, we're old.
I'm like middle age.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yes. We're all getting old, my friend. It is Father Time's undefeated.
Absolutely.
All right, let's look at another birthday here. We'll do a couple more. If I can find a good one. Noteworthy. Let's do. I don't even care about these people.
Bunch of hacks. Do something important with film.
I don't mean it that way. Actually, I did mean it that way. Happy birthday to Melanie Brown.
I have no idea who that is.
Spice Girls?
Oh, is her name? Oh, her name's Melanie.
I wanna.
I just knew them as like what they were by their names.
I thought a couple of them were hot.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I did not care for any of their music.
Yeah,
but unfortunately for me, my room was next to my sister's room, and she loved them. And her stereo would not like people. When I say stereo, see, we're showing our age. Back then, we played on these box set type of musical players,
boom boxes.
Boom boxes. Well, she had like a lamer version of a boombox. JVC, remember JVC?
I do remember JVC.
I think it was JVC. Anyways, she would play it obnoxiously loud next to me in my room, and I could hear it clearly. And it's just like over and over. I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Like, how many times do you have to hear this in a day? And then, you know, those people that would sing along and think that they're singing just the same level as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my sister.
So she sucked, is what you're saying.
Hey, she might be watching this at some point in the video. So don't put me in a position like that where I get a phone call or a text message.
Tell me how your ears bled every time she sang that.
Would you say? I can't hear you on this side. My good side is this one. Well, happy birthday to Melanie Brown. How old is Scary Spice?
Okay, she's got to be like 56.
She is 49.
Oh, shit.
And I see a recent picture of her. Not bad.
She looks good for 50.
Yeah, not bad.
49.
Yeah,
Whatever the age
49.
is.
Don't say 50. She's 49. Don't you ever do that to a woman. They'll kill you. And her name is Scary Spice, bro.
For a reason.
Yes. All right, let's do some events around Hollywood to wrap it up here. Let's go into. I did see a couple ones, so I want to find them here on file. Let's see here. Oh, speaking of Jurassic World, this week in Hollywood in 2015, Jurassic World came out with Chris Pratt.
Was that 2015?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
the first one. Remember, he did a couple, right? So
Yeah, no, I do. I'm just wow.
yeah.
I didn't think it was that
10 years ago, bro.
Oh wow. Okay.
A
Okay.
decade has gone by, and they still haven't learned their lesson.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I saw the number. I'm like, huh? Wait, hold on.
That can't be right.
Yeah. In 2022, I gave this movie, by the way, a 10 out of 10. It was one of my few movies that I give 10. I think I've given only 3 movies 10 out of 10 in the last couple of years. Top Gun Maverick in 2022.
Okay.
Ooh,
Perfection.
what a movie.
Perfection
movie. Great movie. It had everything you wanted from this genre of a type of movie. Right? You go in there, you know what to expect, and they deliver. That's it. And you go home happy. That's it.
Nothing more to it.
There's no lecturing, nothing. No. You're coming in for some dogfights and some good action. Yep, here you go.
That's it.
And on your way you go, off to your next adventure in life. That's it. And I loved every minute of it. The story was great. The acting was fantastic. The camera work was sensational. They did some cool things there that was never done. And a lot of it was from real jets. It wasn't like CGI jets flying around, right? So it was very practical. So which I appreciated. In 1977.
JL agrees with you.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to JL. You know who JL is, right?
No.
Our boy D's bestie. Our boy D's better half.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The smarter version of that in that family.
Damn. Damn.
Way smarter than our boy. Sorry, D. So in 1977, a little old movie called Star Wars came out.
Before I was born.
Yeah, we got that. Thanks. The original Star Wars movie came out in 1977, and then episode A New Hope, directed by George Lucas, starring Mark Hamill, obviously, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
In 1979, a small little movie with one of the most badass actress of all time, Alien, came out.
Ooh, yeah.
1979. I actually bought her watch. I was just talking to Dee about it on our Tuesday show. I bought the Seiko watch that she wears in the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Where did you even find that? eBay?
In Japan.
Oh.
Yeah. So I bought it. Sigourney Weaver wears it. My favorite, I think, of all the actresses out there in terms of action movies, she's my favorite.
Yeah, she's pretty badass, man. She is
and
pretty
she's
badass.
had a very long career.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I hope she does get into some other things. Obviously, Avatar. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to be in the third one. I don't know.
Interesting. Let's hope she is. That'd be a nice little callback.
And we got one more here to end it off today. In 1983, a movie called Return of the Jedi.
The Return of Anakin. More like it. Yeah.
The chosen one.
Speaking of Jedi, I don't know if you heard, but Fortnite has Vader full on in their game again. And James Earl Jones' family allowed the AI voiceover to be implemented.
Wow.
In their game. Yes.
I wonder what son's asking for a gift card.
Right. Now there's some craziness with their AI programming that's been going on that people have been having fun with. I saw a little clip like a couple nights ago. They were asking Vader some questions, and they were asking him about the sequel movies. And the AI was like, "That does not exist. The sequels,
What?
there are no sequels. It doesn't exist. Only I do." I was like,
What?
that's a. I'll try to find that video and I'll send it to you because that video was wild. It was absolutely insane that this AI was like, they don't even acknowledge the sequels.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like, are you allowed to do that? Can that be a thing? Can they not get like sued by Disney or something for that?
All right. That was the events and birthdays in Hollywood. Let's get into some news, shall we? Shall we?
Let's do it.
Disney's very confident right now. Disney just announced already before the movies even dropped. Lilo and Stitch is getting a part 2.
Already?
So this was announced a couple days ago. So they're already doing a live action part 2 of Lilo and Stitch. I've never watched the animation. I never
really?
I never watched the animation. I didn't care for it. I'm like, what is this ugly thing? Right? It reminded me of My Pet Monster, which is a cartoon I used to watch as a kid, and I'm like, whatever. But people love it, right?
It was a good movie. I enjoyed that one. The cartoon. I haven't seen the live action.
So they must have been really good with the test screenings because they were right. In the opening weekend, the film opened at $341 million
Wow.
globally. It already surpasses everything that the animated one did
That's impressive.
in a weekend.
That's impressive. That's gotta be a nice thing for them, considering a lot of their movies have been kind of flopping lately. That had to be a nice slice of cake for them.
My thing with this is, how much does this take away from Moana?
Ooh, yeah.
Because they're very similar. They're Polynesian tropical type of a story, right?
Right.
We've already got Moana 1 and 2. 1 did really well. 2 did okay, not bad, but it didn't get to the heights of 1. And then now The Rocks has the live action version coming out. I think it's a little too much, in my opinion.
I feel like it's too soon.
Sorry, too soon. That's what I meant to say. Too soon. But I think it's coming out in November, I believe. That's when they're projecting it to be launched.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I feel like to do a live action that quick, you're not even letting people marinate with your CGI, your 3D animated version of the movie. You're not letting people sit with it and like reminisce. It's been what, like 5 years since Moana came out, the first one?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
I still don't think that's long enough for people to just be like, oh, okay, let's just get a live action now. I feel like that's way too soon.
Why do we need a live action? We already got 2. We already got a sequel. Why do we need a live action? Just do a third one if you want.
Because The Rock's got to have his face in it. That's why.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Egos need to be bruised, right? So.
I mean, after Black Adam, I feel like that's what he needs. Like,
well, he tried to go back to WWE, and a lot of people were just like perplexed as to why is he back, right? It was very cringy.
Yeah.
I understand he wants to go help, but everyone thinks that he's doing this for the kindness of his heart. He's not. He's in the board of directors.
Yeah.
So he's got a stake in the company.
Right.
Right. And obviously he's going to do everything he can to improve his company, which is fine. That's your money, right? But people think that he's coming back to WWE because he owes them. He, first of all, doesn't really owe them a whole lot because he's come back multiple times. But sometimes you got to say, okay, man, you're like 50 years old plus. We don't really need you back. You've done enough things to come back and help us, but you're a Hollywood guy. Stay in Hollywood, because his role when he came back recently was not that great. It was very confusing. And
was he like the heel?
He tried to be a heel. It was okay. It ran its course. The character that he has sort of is running its course, and people are kind of getting annoyed with it now.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, he's still going to be one of the greatest of all time, but
I feel like it's also the fact he's just like everywhere, and he has saturated himself. I feel that's what I think as well. And he's such a he's a one-dimensional character in all of his movies.
Yeah,
It's not really that fun or exciting anymore. He's boring. He's
yeah,
boring. Like, sure,
yeah.
he's a big name, and I get he can still kind of pull people because he's got fans, but I feel like with the general audience, he's just a boring person now. There's
There,
nothing exciting about him. He's not
there
doing
is
anything different.
there is a movie that's coming out that it looks like he's playing a really serious character. I can't
Oh,
remember it's that fighter, UFC fighter. I forgot his name, but he looks totally different. He's got a full set of hair and
oh,
everything.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah, and it looks like a very serious, problematic character in the UFC that he plays.
he can do
That
that.
I think that might even be up for an award. That's
Really?
I saw the trailer of it. See if you can punch it up while I look up while I keep talking to give you time.
Okay.
um yeah, so he plays a very serious character, UFC fighter, very problematic character. And I think based on what I saw in the trailers, I think he has a chance to maybe even be nominated for an award.
Oh, is it the Smashing Machine?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, he does look different. What the hell?
right?
Oh yeah, full head of hair,
Yeah, I
everything.
saw
But
the trailer and it looks very interesting.
interesting. Okay. He's okay. Maybe this is him expanding his role in the universe now. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a shot just to see, but I don't think I can get behind him 100%. We'll see.
So speaking of nostalgia, did you know that Final Destination has come back in theaters?
Yes, it's like what is this? Like
Bloodlines.
the sixth movie, the fifth
So,
movie?
so for some, I don't know, whatever reason, my wife loves Final Destination series. She loves it. That's her thing. That's her jam.
Okay,
I'm like, sure, okay. She likes these murder, death, scary. I'm like,
like
should I sleep?
Saw and like Hostel stuff like
Well, she's
that.
not into the gory stuff. She's into the jump scares and things like that.
Isn't Final Destination like a gore movie though? Like people get their heads like ripped
It's
off and
yeah, but it's more
cut in
jump scare
half.
too. There's a lot of jump scares. So it's not as disgustingly crazy like Centipede and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So, but she's into that, and I'm like, should I sleep with one eye open, or like, I mean, should I sleep in another room? Anyway, so she likes Final Destination Bloodlines. That movie this weekend worldwide grossed $150 million.
Oh damn. Okay.
It's gonna be the highest grossing movie in its franchise.
Okay. Good for them.
So people are going back to nonsensical fun movies. What a quinky dink.
I think that's a big thing right now, man. I feel like hero movies are oversaturated right now. I mean, besides like the DC stuff that we're gonna be getting, I think people. No, sorry, let me correct. I think people are tired of Marvel movies. That's what it is. People are tired of Marvel movies, and they
Fatigue?
want something different.
Yeah, fatigue. I
Yeah,
think people are also tired of getting ripped off. They're like, hey, listen, we don't want to go watch a Disney movie because every time we go watch a Disney movie, the chances are we're going to get a shitty movie because they don't simply care,
yeah.
right? They just live on their laurels. Like, for example, Marvel in the first 10 years made $1 bajillion, and after that, they
Mhm.
just coasted. They
Yes.
coasted. They're like, we'll just pull out whatever we want. People are going to come.
Yep. They were content with what they had. Yep.
Yeah. There's no effort there.
They stopped
right?
pushing narrative.
Yeah. So Final Destination, $150 million worldwide. Now, the premise of this movie is things happen to certain people where they can't escape death. They found death catches up to them.
It's like
No
fate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the roof collapsed at one of the theaters while they're watching this.
No way, man. No way. No way. That that's a crazy coincidence. Or was it? I don't know.
You don't believe me?
Are people okay?
Okay.
Oh no.
Let me pull it up.
Is there some tragedy? Oh my god.
Movie theater ceiling collapses during Final Destination Bloodline screening. It's on MSN. You don't believe me, huh? All right, people.
Did people get hurt?
I
would have to assume so.
There it is. title says right there. See, movie theaters collapses during final edition Bloodline screening. Hey, what is that a marketing ploy? Come on, you got to be kidding me.
Where did this happen? Oh, in Argentina. You know what? Never mind. That makes sense.
Wow. Now that's at Sheldon. You can write to everybody from Argentina. Wow.
Oh, beautiful country, but I feel like their buildings need some repair.
You've never been, you liar. Imagine if they hit my daughter in the head, she told Info Babe, some person. Theater goers were in for an unfortunate surprise during a recent screening of the supernatural horror film. May 19th.
This is an Exorcist, people. This is an Exorcist. Calm down.
I'm going to butcher this name, but Fiamma Valverde. Oh, I did a pretty good job.
That was pretty good.
At 29.
You hit that pretty damn good.
Went to see that new movie at Cinema Ocho in La Planta, Argentina, with her 11-year-old daughter and friend, according to
Okay, hold up. Already, this article is crazy. What responsible parent brings your daughter, 11-year-old daughter, to watch a film like Final Destination where there is crazy gore? Irresponsible, first off. Take her child away from her. That's insane.
Anyways, sat down to watch the sixth flick in the popular Destination franchise, and told the outlet that towards the end of the movie, she heard a really loud noise in the theater. At first, she thought it was a part of the movie. Wait, hold on. You're sitting in the theater. All you heard was noise. You didn't see roof collapsing,
right?
Maybe she was sitting in the front and the roof was in the back.
Maybe.
Because if you're sitting in the back, you're going to see everything, right? Okay,
let's
give her the benefit of the doubt. Fortunately, the collapsed ceiling didn't hit my head because I was leaning slightly over the armrest. What?
Wait. What? That doesn't make sense. What?
Yeah.
Over the armrest? The armrest is to your left and to your right.
I don't know.
Okay.
The story is really weird. I don't know. Is maybe being worked out to be too much. Like, it's not probably that bad. Maybe a panel fell down.
Right.
It's still a panel. It's still going to hurt somebody, but they're making it seem like the entire place collapsed.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case because she's saying that she didn't even see it. And she's saying that she didn't get hit because she leaned forward. So was this a piece of debris that fell for the roof?
Okay, yeah, it says a huge piece. Wait.
How huge is it? Like, how do you not see a massive
But then a huge piece fell on me. She said, fortunately, the collapsed ceiling didn't hit my head because I was leaning over. So did it fall on you? Did it not fall on? What is she saying?
I mean, I don't understand. It's whatever. But the fact is that it's just there's a cinema right there. So nobody go to this cinema if you're going to Argentina, please. Just watch it.
Is toppling to the outside, man. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. They need to maintain their buildings, dog. Beautiful city, but maintain your buildings.
Instead of Cinema Ocha, is going to be called Cinema Oucha.
That's a great marketing ploy.
Cinema Oucha. I've had a hard time being in crowd places. The woman says, I haven't been into the movies in years. I went because it was my birthday. Whoa. Well, sucks to be you on your birthday. And look what happened to me. Look, I know what's her name? Vela Verde is going to sue the what out of Cinema Ocha.
Oh, for sure.
So hey, she's getting paid. But it's just it's funny that a movie of this stature, which well, does that mean that she's escaped death and it's gonna still come for her?
Yup. I would say so. She missed her time, and so they're gonna book her in for a different date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, 4:00 didn't work. Let's try next month on the 23rd at 3 p.m.
poisoning with fajitas. So I mean, this is a weird coincidence, but I hope everybody's safe there. We
Yeah.
joke, but we don't want anyone obviously to be hurt, right? So
No, definitely not.
especially like her and her daughter are safe. That's all that matters, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Cinema Ocho, fix your roof, man. Like, goddamn.
like seriously, have a drive-through theater if you want an open roof, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's Argentina's.
If you want it up. Oh shit.
I'll put Sheldon's ad email at the bottom of the screen, guys.
We'll forward it to D. Don't worry.
Let's see here. What else we got news here? Mission Impossible is doing really well at the theaters as well. Apparently,
that's out now.
Yeah, they're saying it's not as good as the first part.
That's unfortunate.
This is the second part of this movie, The Final Reckoning, which is also Tom Cruise's supposedly last Mission Impossible. Supposedly.
We'll see.
Dude still looks like he's in his late 30s.
I mean, if he can still run, I feel like he'll do another one. You know what I mean? As long as he can still run. If he can't run anymore, then I think he's done.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I wanted to go see it, but I've been so busy and I hadn't had a chance to see it. Things just keep coming up, but I'm hoping that I could see that maybe next week.
Okay.
In theaters.
Okay.
So hoping to see that. What else we got here? Oh, I'm so happy to hear this. The Wheel of Time on Amazon has been canceled after season 3.
I saw that. Never watched that show, but I heard a lot of people were very upset with how Amazon handled it. Because they were
I'm clapping.
Yeah, you too, eh?
I'm clapping because they dropped the ball. I don't care anybody out there that likes it. Good for you, you like it. But this veered off so far from the source material. It changed so many characters, plot line. Screw you.
So you definitely read the books.
I didn't read the books, but I had audiobooks.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, audiobook. And I went the opposite direction. I went backwards. I watched season 1. Okay, I watched season 1. I'm like, okay, this sounds very pushed. Like you can feel it.
Okay,
like, you can feel watching this. This doesn't seem like this seems like an agenda-driven season,
right?
Or a show. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna watch all of it. I watched all of it. Then I hit the audiobook. And I'm like, wait, none of this in the audiobook is in the show. Who's got it right? Who's got it wrong? And obviously it's the audiobook and the books, right? They were the original source. So I'm like, why is it so different? What? I don't understand. And it turns out Amazon did what it does. It got its hands in there, meddled it all up.
Right.
And wouldn't you know, at the head of Amazon Studios is a woman who is a what's the word I'm looking for? A strong woman that wants to change the course of movies.
Another one.
And one of those. By the way, she got fired last week. So yeah, she got nailed. She got her paper sent. Get out.
Damn.
Yeah, she got fired. This is what happens when you take source material and you muddle it up because of your own views and thoughts of what you think the world should watch, right? Do you want to make those kind of movies? Go right ahead. Do it originally. Don't take someone else's material and make it your own. That's actually, you're actually being a thief.
Yeah.
You're stealing from them. You're stealing
plagiarism.
In a way, right? You're stealing for them to make something that you want, rather than you coming up with an original idea.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, that show has been canceled. And you know, the crappy thing about it is there were some good actors and actresses in that show that lost their job.
Damn.
Right.
That's unfortunate.
You could have made 5 seasons of this easily.
Were they trying to do like a book per season? Was that their plan?
No, I think they were trying to do multiple books quickly
per season.
They're trying to cram things up. They were trying to change angles of stories to make it more modern day audience kind of thing. Right?
Oh god.
It's just what the Rings of Power are doing too. Right?
Yeah.
It's taking things from the source and then changing into modern day because they feel they need to. I don't know why. And then in the process of doing all that, they go and muddle the story up or even have a whole new arc. Like the evil elf in Rings of Power. Character doesn't even exist.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
So it's things like that they were doing here as well at Rings of Power. Oh, sorry, Wheel of Time.
See, and that's crazy to me because, like, I understand with Rings of Power, they're trying to like follow what the Silmarillion is, but they also have just like a bunch of footnotes that they're trying to fill in the gaps with. They don't have an actual story. They have like headers and points that they're following. But when you
Yeah.
have something like what was this, Wheel of Time,
Yeah. Wheel of Time.
and you have actual books to follow, why aren't you just following the books? Everything is there. The source
It
material is there. Fans love it for a reason. Just follow the damn book. It can't be that hard.
apparently it is. If you want to know who that is, Jen Sulky.
I'm gonna look this up.
I'll pull it up here. So if you're wondering who she is, the lovely Jen. And look, I'm not here to beat down somebody. I don't know who this person is. It could be a good family person, a good human being, and maybe she meant right. But Jen Sulky has departed. In another way, is they fired her. No one's going to leave a multi-million-dollar job.
She was the head of Amazon Studios. Wow.
Yes. And so she did some good things, I would say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say she did a horrible job, but there was clearly voices out there saying that she was very agenda driven type of person, and so I think this comes down to the two big duds that she had. It's Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. I think it's because of that she got fired, because they were supposed to be the big blockbuster TV show that people can't stop talking about.
And the viewership probably isn't where it's supposed to be.
No.
Yeah.
So she got sacked. I think the writing's on the wall for Hollywood now because of what the U.S. government is, who's in power and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Without getting into politics, I just want to say that Hollywood doesn't give a what about people. They care about where the money is.
Right. Absolutely.
And so now you're starting to see the change of what they're trying to put out there. They're trying to move away from this agenda DEI stuff they were doing, and now they're slowly turning and going in a different direction because that's where the money is going to be at.
Right.
Your tax benefits, your help from the government for special privileges, things like that. Because
people are actually coming to watch your stuff.
Yeah. So they're changing the guard. They're changing the way they're doing movies, and obviously studio execs like, well, we got to get rid of the people that brought all this into us, and so she happens to be the scapegoat that gets cut off, right? So so she has been fired from Amazon, and I think, for God's sakes, can we get Caitlin Kennedy officially fired too? I keep hearing about it, I keep getting it, but it's all a tease. Nothing's really for sure.
She's never gonna leave, man. At this point, I don't think she's ever gonna go. I've given up. I don't care anymore.
It's so frustrating, man.
Absolutely, it is.
Andor's doing pretty good.
I heard it had a great season finale, or is it series finale?
Don't know.
Like, how much more can they do? I don't, I don't understand. We know where this is going.
They pulled 2 seasons out of a movie that had everyone die at the end.
You know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point. They made magic happen somehow.
They were made to make money off a movie when everyone was dead, and they're like, "We're gonna do 2 seasons of this more."
Like, everybody, pull your heads out your asses. We got work to do. Every other Star Wars thing is filled, but us. Let's keep it going.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Andor. I don't care, but I know people like, for example, our friend Chris here on the show.
Yeah,
he loves Andor, and so does other people that we know, and that's fine. I'm happy for them because they finally get a winner. But for me, I don't care for Andor. It's not my thing. It's not Star Wars for me.
right.
But hey, finally they got a winner. But isn't it sad that of all the shows they did, Andor's the only one? And you know why? Is because they don't go and throw in DEI garbage. They don't throw in political nonsense about how you should live your life. They just made a good show, from what I gather. Right?
Yeah.
They made a good show, and people were drawn to it. People are like, cool. Also, I think it's a heist thing too as well. people love that kind of type of movies. High
when
stakes.
when they're done well, yeah, absolutely.
Which is reason why I said to people, to me, this is not a Star Wars show.
Right.
It's a high stakes type of show set in a universe of Star Wars. Cool. That's fine. Do your thing. But to me, Star Wars is good versus bad, Jedi versus Sith. That's my bread and butter. Right. So
well, they got a good versus bad vibe kind of going on. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like you want like the space magic, the battles, the that force between like a major force of like good versus evil kind of thing.
The entire Star Wars is based on the Force. It's a natural thing that surrounds the universe, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that magic aura of it all is what attracts me to Star Wars.
Right. I think that's what attracted everybody to that franchise at first.
So when you don't have that in your show, it doesn't attract me to watch it.
It just feels like another show.
I did watch the first season, and I didn't care for it, but what I did say was the cinematography that they had was really good.
Right.
Real locations will beat any blue screen, period.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
That sense of realism is like, I feel, you know what? Now that you bring that up, I feel like the sense of realism really needs to come back in films. Like being in actual locations makes a huge difference.
The lighting, the depth, everything changes.
Yeah.
You can do as much as you can with VR and all that stuff, special effects, but there's something about filming in a real location that just makes it look so good. Right. So
absolutely.
So that was, that's my take on Andor.
I'm probably going to end up watching that at some point. Like I remember starting that, but like you, it never really took off with me, but everybody I've been talking to, like, no, just give it till like episode 5. I'm like, episode 5? What do you mean? That's so long. It's too many episodes to like a show.
Let's get into The Last of Us season 2, shall we? We're not gonna do a review or anything or any spoilers, so don't worry. We're just gonna talk about what people are saying about the show.
Yeah,
what the viewership is.
I did just watch the first episode.
I've watched the first 3, and I pumped the brakes on it because I said to D that I'll watch it when all of it comes out. I'll binge watch it all and then go from there.
Yeah, right? I think that's a good call. So
let's talk about season 1 was a success. Season 1 was a resounding success on HBO.
That's your opinion.
Okay. Based on what I gathered. Geez, somebody hates them. They call me the hater. Based on what I gathered, season 1 was a success in terms of ratings. Storyline was accurate to the game, and I played that game, so very accurate, but there were some minor changes for the better. One would say. You can argue that if you want. The story about the 2 men falling in love, which I thought was brilliantly done.
Yeah,
it didn't sway too far away from the main storyline. It just gave you some depth, right?
Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Because the core storyline I thought was pretty accurate to the game, albeit some changes, right? Of course.
Yeah, I have a bit of a different take on that. Like,
I'm excited to hear that in a second here, but when you take season 1 and then you look at season 2, something broke.
Yep, I would say so, man. Because
and I didn't play game 2, but I remember the time when game 2 came out.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people not happy.
No,
there's a lot of people not happy.
I know, I understand why some people were angry about it. There was a lot of different reasons why people were hating that game. A lot of different reasons, and I get where most of it was coming from, or some of it was coming from, but not all of it.
So I do want to bring up one thing here. Anybody that's listening to us, I will say personally myself, I don't go left or right. I'm centric. I like to look at things and analyze before I make a decision. I think everyone has a place.
Mhm.
And so, with that being said, when you look at season 2, they went hard in the DEI direction. They went
In what way?
hard. Well, they tried to make her, Ellie, super amazing and strong, and she's never wrong. And the character came off like when you look at Ellie in season 1, she's attached to Joel. She thinks of Joel as a father figure. She
Mhm.
struggles.
Mhm.
She makes mistakes. She wants him to teach her how to navigate through this new world, right?
Right.
And you have that father-daughter relationship, which a lot of people gravitated towards. That's what made season 1, in my opinion, better,
Right.
right? In season 2, there's obviously a subtraction without getting into spoilers. But right away in the first episode, where she's wrestling with some guy in the barn who's 265 pounds, 6'4", jacked, and she's telling them to not hold back because he lightly punches her in the face. She's like, "You're holding back? Next time, don't hold back." What is he supposed to do? Break your skull?
Well, it's funny you say that because that dude even said that he would have knocked you out.
Not knocked her out. She would have been dead. She's what, 5'3"?
Yeah.
Maybe
Like 100-pound nothing.
nothing. Her
Yeah.
skull would have been fractured if that
Oh,
guy
yeah.
punched her full force.
Yeah, that dude was huge, man. He was a tank.
His fist was half the size of her head. And I'm like,
Yep.
if you're gonna make this realistic, then make sure the dude is 5'7" and 140 pounds. Then I could see some realistic fighting there.
Absolutely.
Don't give me this nonsense where she's able to flip this guy around, break his arm, blah blah blah, all this stuff. You're not doing any of that. If she tried to jump on his back, he would just lean her against the wall.
Yeah. I wonder if that makes me wonder why that's like if that's why they taught her jujitsu, you know? Because like jujitsu, you can do certain things. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you can do what
You
she
can
was
do
doing.
a lot
Like,
of things, but there's a reason why UFC has a weight class.
right.
You're not going to do that with somebody 100 pounds more than you. You're just not going to. It's not happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right? You can do all the martial arts you want, but if someone outweighs you and is stronger physically than you, you're going to have a hard time hurting that person.
Right.
You're going to need tools.
Fair.
That's why bats and guns were invented, to level the playing field. Right?
True. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You need a level playing field. If she had a weapon in her hand, you can then say, okay, well, the weapon's going to do most of the damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. True. That's
So,
yeah.
Just like in Game of Thrones, when you have what's her name, the small girl.
Oh, Arya.
Arya.
Yeah.
She has a sword. Yes, it's called a needle. It's a smaller sword, but it still can hurt somebody by stabbing them in the throat.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So she does level the playing field somewhat.
Yeah.
Right? It's more realistic to see her take down somebody and kill somebody than to see her with her bare arms doing it.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I just found right away, I'm like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, my eyes started rolling off the back of my head. And then she just became an insufferable person.
Oh, she was just bitter right out the gate, man. Like,
and I'm like, what happened to that one in season 1 to season 2? What happened here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to like this person anymore. I hate this person.
There was definitely a big change up from the season 1 Ellie to the season 2 Ellie. Like for me, at least, like the season 1 Ellie was close to her video game adaptation.
Yeah.
And in this, just from the first episode, she's nowhere near her video game adaptation from The Last of Us 2 even. And it doesn't even feel like they're the same character from season 1 to season 2.
They're not. She's angry. She's obnoxious. She's
dumb. She's dumb. Like,
she goes head on to something without even thinking about it.
Like when they were gonna enter into that supermarket thing, and she wanted to go.
And try not to give too much spoilers, but if you don't want to hear any of the plot lines at all,
my bad.
No, we're just gonna give you a warning now. If you don't want to hear any of the plot lines, we're gonna try to not spoil things, but we do need to talk about some of the stuff here from the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, like going into the supermarket, she wanted to go guns blasting. And it was Dina that was like, no, like, we don't know how many are. Well, she didn't say it directly. They were like hand gesturing things, but
Yeah.
like, there could have been more than what was in there, and they would have been screwed. Season one, Ellie, video game adaptation Ellie, would not have done that. You just don't go running in, blasting guns, especially with clickers. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There was a significant drop in intelligence with Ellie along the way. And I don't know when that happened, because in season one, she was intellectually curious, she was cautious, and she knew how to avoid, or not really avoid, but like to tiptoe around these things. And now it's just like, she doesn't give a shit. I'll just go in and die.
I do want to bring one other thing into the play here. Is this is not a knock on Ramsey as an actress.
No, no.
There's a lot of people insulting her for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
And you can chuckle about it, it's fine, but personal attacks on somebody directly to her social media accounts or whatever it is, it's kind of pathetic. I'm not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, you're an actor, shit's gonna come to you. It comes with the territory. That's the same thing with athletes. Is it right? No. But expect people to be toxic towards you if you go and mess up, especially a fandom. Like, look at the people that got hit with Star Wars when they became shit on certain characters. They went after them because that's their Star Wars. As pathetic as it sounds,
I mean, it didn't help that they also attacked the fan base, though.
I was just gonna say that it doesn't help when you go and backfire against them. It's just gonna make it worse.
100%.
You're just throwing fuel into the fire. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't blame Bella for
here's
any
the
of what
thing.
she's doing.
I mentioned this to, I think, D. I said, she's not to be blamed. You know who's to be blamed? The people who decided she was gonna be Ellie.
Ellie and the people that are writing this garbage.
Everyone involved thought that this would be the perfect script for this actor to be playing.
Yeah.
That's the people that the casting managers, they're the ones should be blamed for, because they didn't know how to pick the right person for the job.
Yeah.
She's too small.
Yep.
It looks like she's a young kid. She doesn't fit the role. That's
it. Absolutely. I also think like the fans are just attacking the wrong people. Like, these are the actors' jobs. They're just doing what they're being told. Like, it's not their fault. They're not writing the story. They're not being directed how to act this way. Like, they have their methods of acting, but they're being directed and written in ways that don't make sense. And really, don't blame the actors for this. Go after the people that are writing these things.
Yeah.
Their names are in the credits, guys. Like, find them. Go ahead.
But it's too easy to just go blame the actor. That's what it is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They go after the low-hanging fruit rather than actually doing the research and realizing who the people are in charge that make terrible decisions.
Absolutely.
She was in Game of Thrones, and she was
she was great in Game of Thrones.
She had a limited role, which is fine.
Yep.
And then limited role, she was fine. I had no issues with that.
Yep.
But here, she's thrust into the front of the entire show, and now it's even more harder because she's got a spoiler alert. So here, warning for anybody: 3, 2. Now that Joel's not in the picture, it's even harder. Because when you had Joel in the picture, you have this, like I said earlier, the father and daughter relationship that everyone can lean on.
Yeah.
And then, even when she was obnoxious right now, if she had Joel in the picture, you could say this is a daughter that needs to talk to her dad and learn the ways of how to live it like an adult.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have that. And so she's going off course, right?
I also see it as they lost star power once they killed him off.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue star power because I think he's a good actor, but he's in everything and all the places, and it's going to get annoying now. But
like most
it's
most
the
people.
star power. It's not the star power, in my opinion. It's the chemistry between the two.
Right.
It's that love chemistry that they've developed ever since they met each other from day one.
Right.
And obviously, when they're now here, the chemistry should be stronger because they've now been together for a longer time. They've gone through some tribulations and trials, or trials and tribulations, the other way around. They've gone through mess. They've gone through shit.
Yes.
And I wanted that to continue. So Naughty Dog also is to be blamed because they made that decision to remove that.
Yeah.
Blomkamp, is it Blomkamp? The direct, he's right now being under fire for a lot of things. They're saying that he's gone full on woke, the term woke.
Are we talking about Neil Druckmann, the creator of The Last of Us?
Is a Blomkamp. Yeah, Druckmann. Yes, he's gone full on that, and he's firing back and attacking fans, which is always going to be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And his latest game, which I'm interested in playing, but his latest game is full on that.
You're talking about Intergalactic?
Yeah. I want to play it. I want to play it. I want to play it.
I'm reserved. I'm reserved right now.
But I look at the character and I'm like, really?
Yeah, because all we got was a trailer for that game. There's nothing else. So I'm a little reserved.
They did say in-game footage though.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The scene at the end where she's fighting the monster. In-game footage. I'm gonna reserve judgment till I play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Naughty Dog, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I didn't play the second game, but I can feel and understand what the fans are saying about the direction they went.
Yeah,
I get it.
When I played it, like I knew this was I knew it was going to be Ellie's story going forward, and then they said that from the get-go when they announced the second one. They were like, this story is going to be more about Ellie. I was like, okay, what would be the driving factor? And up until that point upon release, I was like, the only driving factor I could see is either they off somebody she really loves, or somehow Joel is no longer in the picture and she's trying to get revenge. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, that is definitely one way to drive that forward for Ellie to come into her own if you want this to be about Ellie, because Joel will definitely take away from her in this game, or even in this show for that matter.
Yeah.
I
like the relationship with her and Dina. I got no issues with that. I think it's a beautiful relationship. Cool. You want to do that? There's people out there going, she's out of her league, right?
Dina's way too smart for her. Way too smart for her.
And I'm like, hey, I was out of my league. I got married.
Okay.
But I'm like, whatever. I find them interesting. I'm like, okay, cool. The issue here is they live in a zombie world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel any danger.
No.
I don't feel a sense of urgency at times. It's too relaxed. Everyone's just too calm. You watch Walking Dead and you watch this. It's like they're living in two completely different zombie. I mean, I know the zombies and clickers are two different things.
Yeah.
But they are living in a different type of environment in terms of like, oh shit, there could be a zombie anywhere, any place, anytime.
Yeah.
When we get out of those gates, we're on high alert. We're not goofing around.
Yeah. This is why this show has rubbed me the wrong way. Because like when you play the games, you're like, danger is everywhere. You know what I mean? Even when you get to parts in the game where it slows down, when you hear, like, you're listening around, like you're going through an apartment building, you can still hear like footsteps. You can hear clicks, locked in rooms. You know there's things in there still. Like they got left behind and locked up. Like there's a sense of danger no matter what. Nothing is truly peaceful. But in this show, you're absolutely right. There's nothing. There's nothing until we get like some high octane scenes that happen. And that's it. Like no one is consistently looking over their shoulder or like aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that people are also upset with, spoilers to anybody out there, again, last one, I promise, is the character decision of Abby. Abby's, like, you have not seen the other episodes, right?
I have seen Abby in episode 1. And yeah, no, I've not. But she is different from her video game adaptation.
Yeah, sure. The motive is different.
Yeah. A bit different.
Yeah.
It's still, the situation is the same, but Abby, in the game, she had trained to get to Joel. She was training to get him.
Oh man, I would have loved to seen that.
Like and they didn't go too much into it, but like she's jacked in the video game, okay? Like she's a goddamn warrior. She's ready to like take people out.
And that's what you want. If somebody puts the time and effort into learning to be a killer, I'm all in.
Mhm.
When they pick up a gun and the next day they're the best shootsman, armsman, whatever you want to call it in their clan, I got a problem with that.
Yep, absolutely.
And I see that way too often now in movies and TV shows where somebody just the next day is like, I'm perfect.
Yep.
You know, we saw with Kate Bishop in Hawkeye. She was a perfect, marksman within a day or two of picking up the bow. She-Hulk. She was teaching Bruce Banner how to be the Hulk within a day. I'm just sick and tired of it.
Yeah. No effort. It's no effort.
It's not believable.
Yeah.
You try to make it believable as possible so that the story feels natural.
Absolutely.
Right? And then a lot of people are calling out saying that the actor who plays Abby should have been Ellie.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
They said that if she was Ellie, it would have been a better choice.
She does look older for sure. I mean, okay, hold on. I can kind of see it. Like she's got that slick back hair. She's got the height. She got that older look to her too. It kind of makes sense. Okay.
She looks more like early 20s rather than what Ramsey looks like.
15.
Yeah.
Or not aged at all, just long hair.
I think just the actress who plays Abby, she looks more refined, more seasoned.
You know, it does surprise me. Like they could have done stuff with like makeup and whatnot for Bella to make her look a bit older. They did nothing with it.
Forget even just the look. The writing of her character is just horrible.
Yeah.
When she's mean, obnoxious, and just rude, nobody cares. Nobody likes that.
No.
Why would anyone think that's someone that people would like to, watch? Right? Especially if it's an antagonist. Okay, fine, but this is the protagonist. Why would I want to watch this every week? Want to tune into HBO to see this obnoxious person, right?
Yeah, like the Ellie that we play as is smarter. She's like 100% more witty than this character that we're getting. And I don't know how they screwed this up. They just didn't give a shit. They were just like, let's just make it the Ellie show.
It's so sad. This could have been I really was hyped up for season 2. I really was. Right? And I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed season 1. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And I was expecting season 2 to be just as good. And then
I told you that it wasn't gonna be.
And I didn't listen. I'll eat, like I said, I'll eat my crow. I said to you, and you can quote me on this, right? I said to you, you don't know what you're talking about. This is gonna be a good show. Season 2 is gonna, and you're like, no, I'm telling you, bro, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
When they got Joel and they got rid of him, how did it make you feel?
So one of our members of the team kind of ruined it for me and told me this like 4 or 5 months ago. Didn't tell me indirectly, but they're stupid. They think I wouldn't figure it out.
Right.
They try to be coy about it. I'm like, why don't you just say it? In my head, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna die. Okay, thanks.
Right.
But even knowing that, I was still like optimistic that maybe he would just get beat up really badly and he'll be like casted off and find his way back,
Right.
I was hoping something like that because I'm like, if you get rid of this character, you've lost everything you built in season 1. You've built the one thing that I look forward to was that father and daughter relationship is what I looked forward to watching and seeing their growth happen.
Right.
Where they started trusting each other more and where she's learning to be a better survivor because without him, she doesn't even know how to hold a freaking gun.
Yep.
Right. And so if you came to season 3 and made that decision, I'd be like, all right, that's fine. She spent 2-3 years learning from him how to survive in this world.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone now. Eventually, you got to grow up, right?
Yep.
And then you move past it, like, okay, she's gonna grow into it. But you have also the other problems we just talked about. She's not the right choice for the role. Her nothing to do against her looks, but she doesn't have the build to believe that she's an adult actor in this show because of the game that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all of that is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I don't think they can get out of this.
I didn't find his death as impactful as the games. Because like in season one, it was like half Joel, half Ellie show. At some point, they were just like, let's make Ellie more prominent than Joel. That's how I felt about season one. When in the game, it was literally about Joel and his journey with Ellie. And Ellie was there as a support, kind of like God of War,
Yeah.
they had that dynamic, but it's about Kratos more than it is about his little boy. And that's what it was. Now we get to the second game, and we know it's about Ellie, and it's like, okay, so Joel's going to take a back seat. But then when you get to that point where they kill him off, I was blown away. I didn't think like it was going to be how they did to him. And for me, that made it way more impactful because I saw Joel as he did what he had to do for his kid. He was that dad that's like, I'm not going to let my daughter down again. I'm not going to let this happen a second time. He was significantly that father role that was a protector and cared and wanted to teach. In the second one, when it happens, you're just like, well, that sucks, but the show must go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like what was it? Naughty Dog's director again?
Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann obviously was drinking that Kool-Aid and wanted to teach the world about, the DEI world, and he wanted to let everybody know how he felt. He wanted to be the teacher of the world through video games. And I think that's where you put a full stop and say, dude, just shut up and make a good game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to teach us shit. Okay? You're not going to teach us nothing. And that's what the problem is because he decided to take the one thing that everybody loved. Because when you play the game, who do you get introduced to first?
Joel.
You start developing your love for this character. It's the same thing as who in the other Naughty Dog game, Drake. You get introduced to this character. You build time with this character. As a gamer, now I fall in love with this character.
Yep.
This character is the one that got me into this game. Now we're deep into this game. We're one game full into this, and then we go to the second game, and then you kill off the guy that I spent a whole 20 hours playing with.
I think this was him just trying to be edgy because he wrote a lot of The Last of Us, the video game. He wrote Uncharted 4, which was also phenomenal. And I feel like with him, the success just got to his head, and he's like, I'm top dog.
The world.
I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah. I'm going to teach people. I feel like I want to teach people about the world of DEI.
Look, I'll push my narrative onto you people.
Yeah, I want to do this because I know better. I just made some killer titles, and I know what's best for humanity.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I think he feels like he's doing. Yeah. Yep, you hit the nail on the head.
And to that, I say, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. All you had to do was continue this story, and you would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You'd have done the exact same thing if you just carried these two characters together into another journey. You finish it off with a trilogy. At the end, if he dies, then it's because of a beautiful ending. Yeah. Because he spent all his life basically trying to help this girl grow up.
Fair. Like, for me, it doesn't even need to, like, get to that point. Like, where they kill Joel off in the game, I was like, that sucks. But now we know the driving force for Ellie to continue this journey. And Tommy, for that matter, which didn't happen in the show. And that's a piss off.
See, I didn't know that. You just taught me something. See, I didn't play the game, so but I mean, If the success of the first was so good, why go and change it to the why go dismantle it? Right?
Because they
If
feel like,
Drake was a success in the first one with Sully,
yeah.
they doubled down twice on that
Mm-hmm.
and said, okay, they introduced Drake's brother, but Sully was still in the picture.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you did it already. You made a successful trilogy, 4, whatever you want to call it, franchise.
They had a good formula.
You have a good formula with Last of Us game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the formula.
Yeah.
Stick to the all you do is just make Ellie get more better and better at her craft.
Yeah.
You can, even in a gaming environment, you can choose which character you want to go play. You could do that too. So you give variety to people. You could say, hey, we're going to have game storyline that both of these are going to be main characters.
Yep.
You have to play both of them to do certain things. Fantastic. In the third one, you give Ellie more center stage because now she's learned in 2 games. And Joel is getting a little bit more in the tooth. So Joel needs Ellie to step up more now.
Yeah.
Man, just give me a book and a pen, man. I'll write this shit for him.
And not just that, but like, we know Joel's getting old. Like, he is significantly older by season 2. And he doesn't move the same. He's not like as stealthy as he used to be, but he can still get stuff done. And this is where I'm going to agree with you. Like, if we did keep him alive, seeing him kind of grow throughout the years and just getting to the point where he really can't do,
he's breaking down.
Yeah, he can't do jack squat anymore. Makes sense for Ellie just to be like, sit down, old man. Your time is over. It's my time now.
You've taught me everything you know, and now I have to prove that to you.
Yeah.
Let me show you what you've taught me. So he's then a proud father.
Yeah.
That, look what I have helped. I've developed the next generation who's going to look after us older people and also get through this world. I don't have to worry too much about her anymore.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Right? So anyways, season 2 is in a decline viewership. A lot of people have jumped off.
Not surprised.
HBO right now is committed for a season 3.
That's crazy.
They said season 3 is still going to talk about game 2 still. They're going to stretch it out.
I mean, there is a lot of story to tell. I'm curious as to where they're going to end. And this, because I've heard some things and I'm just like, I've heard that they kind of backpedaled on some things they said in the first season that wasn't apparent, but now it's been like retconned. And I'm just like, this is how you kill your story. This is how you kill your show. If you're retconning things when you said in the first season it was never going to be a thing, good luck. Yeah. You just fucked yourself.
The goal, they said, is to have 5 seasons. I don't know if they get there.
That's crazy. Unless they're planning to go in like, unless we're doing flashback stories now of characters from The Last of Us 2, that's the only thing I can see them extending this game out for, which doesn't make sense to me. They finished the entire first game in 1 season.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the same thing with the second game, but okay, I guess there is a bit too much story for the second game, so you need to split it into another season. Okay, I get that, but up to 5 seasons is crazy. Now you're just trying to milk the shit out of this thing. And I don't think anybody's going to be appreciative of that.
All right, let's get into a final topic of the evening, which is, let me add it here for you. Are Snyder fans toxic? You know, I told D, let's put together this thumbnail. D's just like, I literally spit the drink out of my mouth when you sent me the information on what you were thinking of doing. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Are Snyder fans toxic? Let's talk about it. Okay. So I told you earlier in the show that my ex is just inundated with this all kinds of negativity from all kinds of Snyder hombres.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people out there saying stuff. So let's backtrack a little bit here. Snyder fans are, if you're wondering what they are Snyderverse fans from the DC stories that Zack did. Zack Snyder was given the keys to DC's franchises over a decade ago, and he made movies like Man of Steel, Batman
Right.
vs Superman, Justice League, to name a few. Now, Zack's had a pretty good career prior to doing that. I'm going to punch it up here. I'm going to give you some names, and then you tell me if you liked his movies. Now, the latest one actually, it's funny. The latest one that he did with Netflix has been canceled by the way.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
Boy, did I ever go on the internet and let everybody know.
I'm not gonna lie. Nothing about that franchise interested me.
I'm gonna give you a second here. I need you to talk to the audience. What you thought of this new franchise? Give me a minute. I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, for me, when I heard that he was supposed to originally do a Star Wars cut, but then they were like, no, it's not gonna happen. So we were like, okay, so we don't even know what's gonna go on with that. And then a year later, they were like, okay, we're actually gonna let you do your own sort of a space genre, but try to keep it away from Star Wars as much as possible. I was like, okay, you know what? This kind of makes sense. It seems like is gonna be sort of a good thing. But the whole thing, the Rebel Moon thing, just felt like a ripoff of Star Wars. I was not interested in it at all. It looked a little cheesy. It looked a little tacky. I mean, the actors and actresses seem to be really good. I just don't know if Zack Snyder can direct like he thinks he should. Cinematography, amazing. But as a director, I don't know, man. Like, there's some, like, don't get me wrong, I loved Watchmen. I thought that was really well done, and I thought the story for that was really cool. Same with 300, but 300 was just a straight up action film where they just beat the shit out of like one another, and that was dope. Man of Steel, I did like. But I think I'm more of a Henry Cavill fan than I am a Zack Snyder fan. Yeah, like I like Henry Cavill as Superman, but Zack Snyder, I don't know, man. To me, he's like Nicholas Cage.
Well, hold on. Let me cut you off. I'm back. So let's start from. Let me just start about talking about his IMDb stuff. Okay. Let's go into some of the stuff that he's made. So he made Twilight of the Gods.
Okay. I've never even heard of that one.
It's coming out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that's right. 2 episodes. It got canceled. Never mind.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so let's start here. Let's start with Zack Snyder's list of movies. Okay. Watchmen. Did you like Watchmen?
Yeah, movie was dope. I thought it was good.
Okay. Sucker Punch.
It was okay. It wasn't my favorite. It was different.
Yeah. What else here? Let's do some of the bigger ones. Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, did he do Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. Dawn of the Dead was good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like Dawn of the Dead.
I don't mind Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. Let's see here. And then we have Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gaol. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, he did that too? Oh my god.
Do you like that one?
I thought it was neat.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. It's just all these freaking owls talking to each other and fighting. But I was like, that's a neat movie.
He did 300. 300 was a good movie.
Yeah, 300. Okay, 300 was dope. I think I watched that movie several times over, and before a football game, like before I'd go to my community football games, I'd watch that just to get pumped. And I'd be like, I am Sparta. I'm going to kick your ass.
This is Sparta.
I'm like, this is Surrey. Every time we'd hit up like Vancouver or Victoria or some shit.
This is Surrey. Those who don't know, that's a city that we live in. It's always under fire.
Not in the UK.
Yeah, well, sorry. So yeah, I mean, he's got an extensive resume of movies, and he's done some like music videos, like Rob Stewart, ZZ Top. He's done. So he's cut his teeth. He's done a variety of things, right?
Yeah.
He's got some hits that we just talked about. And so he was given the opportunity to do DC. Now, Man of Steel, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't a great movie either. It had its problems,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But I thought overall, as a first time approach, because we knew we were going to get a larger scope, we knew that we're going to get more characters from DC coming into
Yeah.
the fold. They're going to do what Marvel was doing already, right?
Yeah. And
And
I think
so,
we wanted to do a Superman that was more humanized than anything else, which I thought he did a pretty good job of, because this was like a Superman that was learning how to do his shit.
yeah, let's say year 2, right?
Yeah.
And so I was fine with it. My thing I didn't like about Zach is I don't like his way of filming, his color palettes. I
Where
don't
it's
like
like
grainy
more of
and
like
dark, more dark.
yeah,
I'm not a fan of that.
fair.
I like brighter colors, right? And for Superman, you definitely need brighter color.
Yeah.
You can get away with that with Batman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Because of the Dark Knight and all that. But with Superman, I thought doing the same thing, not my thing.
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough.
and overall, I thought the movie is not bad. It was not the character choices of the actors that he picked were good.
Yep.
Henry Cavill was a great choice,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And then after that, I mean, I don't want to go into detail of what the problems were. That could be, we could be here forever if I do that. But
Absolutely.
we get to Batman versus Superman, and everyone's like, okay. Like when I first heard the title, I'm like, I don't want these two to fight. I want these two to be friends. And okay, and then I know, okay, eventually they will be friends. But then I'm like, why are you taking what Frank Miller did in The Dark Knight Returns and copying it? See, Snyder fans don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Snyder fans don't talk about how he essentially just ripped off The Dark Knight. I mean, just take a look at his armor. It looks exactly like The Dark Knight.
It's exactly the same. It's it's there's no contesting that. It was the exact same thing.
And so I look at it and people are like, well, James Gunn is copying this and that. And we'll get into James Gunn in a second here. But
Yeah.
because I like to look at both sides, right? So
Yep.
when I look at that and they complain about, Snyder fans complain about how there's no original ideas in here. Oh, he's copying Zach. Why don't you take a look at what Zach copied? And sometimes copying things is not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad idea if you've done it tastefully.
Yeah.
If you execute it properly, right? It's not a bad idea. But what the problem I have with Batman vs Superman was the characters were so dumbfounded and terrible. They were badly written. Batman looked like a dumbass in that whole movie. He was getting duped by everybody around him.
For me, Superman was barely shown.
He's an afterthought. He's an afterthought.
He was in that movie, and that really rubbed me the wrong way when I went to go watch it in theaters. I was like, you just started him, but you've done nothing to establish him. Absolutely nothing to establish Superman. So when we get to the point near the end of that movie where he like sacrifices himself, there was no impact. It meant nothing to the world that they lived in. Sure, that meant something, but to an audience, okay, cool, Superman's dead, peace. Like, it meant there was zero feeling. I felt nothing for it. Like, you didn't give Superman a chance to really shine and give him a second movie that made him significant. Then that death would have meant something.
The whole relationship with Batman versus Superman was so stupid as well. Is if Superman is a good person, a good-hearted person who doesn't want to hurt anybody, why is he trying to beat up Batman then?
Yeah. And realistically, he didn't even have to fight Batman. He could have taken him, flew him off to the other end of the world, come back in like 3 seconds, and done what he needed to do.
Just take him up to space straight up.
Yeah, that too, man.
Just straight up. You lose oxygen, you're dead. Done. And what's Batman going to do? Spray him with kryptonite so he falls to his death as well?
Right?
You lose either way.
Yep. Then you're not protecting anybody.
You're so badly written. And then the dumbest thing was Martha.
Oh my God. I remember watching that in theater, and I looked over to my friend and I was like, "There's no way they just fucking did that. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life." Both their moms are named Martha, and they're like, "How do you know?" I was like, "This is insane, dude! Like, we paid to watch this."
It's crazy how Snyder fans, and you know what? I get it if you love something and you
Yeah,
don't want anyone else to say otherwise. I get it. There are
yeah,
things I like, other people like. You're out to lunch. We're not going to discuss that right now. But it's okay to like something where other people don't like something. What's not okay is going online and shitting everything else
yeah,
regardless.
yeah.
I got newsflash for you Snyder fans. You know who doesn't like you is Christopher Reeve fans who will
Ooh,
tell you to
I
stay
didn't even
in your
think about
lane.
that.
Yeah. Who is one of me here will tell you to stay in your goddamn lane. There's nothing Zach
Okay,
could have done to make it better than the Christopher Reeves movies because I hold them dear in my heart.
fair. Yep.
But I'm looking forward to anything Superman related, no matter who makes it, because
Hmm.
I'm optimistic.
Absolutely.
I I love the character and I like to see more of him,
Absolutely.
regardless of who makes him.
Yep.
But when you do make him, you do your homework. And Zack Snyder didn't do his homework. He tried to make this his own thing, which is not a terrible idea in some circumstances,
Yeah.
but you don't change the fundamental of these rooted characters. These are
Absolutely.
legacy characters that have been around for 100 years.
Absolutely. And I think that's what the fans were wanting. You know, they were wanting, like I said, they were wanting that more humanized, realistic Superman, but I think they wanted it to be darker than what it should have been. And I'm like, Superman's not a dark character. He's not a Batman. He's
He's
not
a Boy
like,
Scout.
yeah,
Whether you
like,
like him or not, he's a Boy Scout.
yes. Like, I'm sure he's killed people by accident or did when he didn't mean to, but like, he's not a dark character,
He's
man.
not seeking out to kill people.
No, he is like an ideal for people to strive to, not to be, but to strive to be, you know, to keep moving forward and bettering yourself. That's
I
what Superman is.
I love the DC Justice League animation because his relationship with all these DC characters were amazing because they all looked up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Batman always looked up to him to be a better person. Batman even says Clark made him a better person,
Yep.
right? But Batman always said to Clark, "I'm always going to be watching you. I'm always going to make sure
Yeah.
that I got a contingency plan
Yeah.
in the event you go rogue, right?" Because he goes, "I have to do that." And Superman said to him, "You should do that. You have to do that with everybody that wields power,
Everybody needs to be held in check.
right?" And in Batman versus Superman, you have a scene where Batman's chasing some villains, and he takes out machine guns and literally opens fire and obliterates these thieves, these
Yep.
ordinary thieves, into a pulp. And Snyder fans like, "Oh, hey, that happens."
Yeah. I was like, no, that's not Batman, dog. He doesn't kill people, dude.
There is incidences where Batman has killed people, but he doesn't go willingly to go with machine guns and start gun blasting.
Yeah. Guns, especially.
Yeah.
Guns, especially, because
He
that's
has
what.
killed people using techniques like his fighting abilities. He has killed people because they fought him and they fell into something. Like the
Mhm.
Joker falling, didn't die, but Joker fell into,
That acid bath.
acid thing,
Yeah.
right? There are incidents that happen. I'm not saying that it never happens,
Absolutely.
but for him to go open willingly and start shooting out of his car, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Guns
Batman,
weren't his forte, and that
no.
because that's what killed his parents, so he was against it.
Batman, DC Comics was also known as a detective comics, and Batman is a detective.
Yeah.
He looks for clues, evidence, things like that. I thought we're going to see that in Batman versus Superman, where Batman presents cases to Superman of what he's doing wrong. That's what I thought we're going to see, and
Mhm.
how, or he presents kryptonite to Superman, say, "Look, I found a way that you can be weakened.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that this doesn't happen to you with other people. That's why you need me around." Because Superman doesn't need Batman, but Batman can convince him otherwise.
Right.
I'm smarter than you. I know how to defeat you without your powers.
Right.
Right. So I wanted to see that relationship happen, but instead we get a Lex Luthor with full hair who acts like a weirdo. Woo! Like that. Guns are ringing. Guns are ringing.
Like he was a crazy person. He
Yeah.
was like it almost felt like this dude had like split personalities at one point in the movie.
Bipolar.
Yeah.
And Snyder fans like, that was the best Lex ever. Have you ever read any Lex comic books? Any of those comic books where Lex is in charge or he's part of the comic storyline? Have you read any of that? He's never like that.
No. I mean, is he obsessive with Superman? Yes, he is.
He is
absolutely.
crazy, but in a different way.
And only with Superman. No one else. It's just Kal-El that he's.
Now, there's been incidents where
Crazy
he's
about.
involved with other characters like the
For
Flash,
sure.
but his primary focus is to defeat Superman.
Yes. But
That's
he's
it.
not crazy about it. Like the way we saw in that movie.
He's methodical.
Yes. He's intellectual with how he wants to deal with Superman.
His whole goal is to make Superman look bad and himself look good.
Yep.
How do I defeat this man, but make sure my hands are not bloody?
Absolutely. Like, how do I become? How do I make myself look like the hero and him like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People need to love me and hate him.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and that's why he wanted to be the president, right? In the animations.
Yep.
And it always did right by the citizens. So he makes himself look good. And then Superman, anytime he did anything wrong, or he makes a storyline where Superman looks like the villain. So
how's it going, Darth?
Hey, Darth, how you doing? He wants people to hate him, right?
Yeah.
So I just look at it that I'm like, look, you're allowed to like things that Zach did. You're allowed to like that thing. But let's get into the James Gunn thing of now. Now, before James Gunn was given the keys to DC, I remember telling D that I would like the one person I like to be in charge. I see potential is James Gunn. And a year later, he happened to get it. I'm happy. I was very excited for it. Now the hard part begins for him to convince me and everybody else out there to spend their hard-earned money on his projects.
Yeah. See, unlike you, I was the opposite of that. I was like, James Gunn, why? This dude only to be fair, I didn't know his track record with movies. The only thing I knew about him was Guardians of the Galaxy. That was it. That's all I knew. And I was like, how are they picking this dude to run an entire franchise of freaking heroes? And and then when I heard that he's not going with Henry Cavill, I was livid. So at some point, I guess you could say I was on the Snyder side, but I think now that I think I was more of a Henry Cavill stan than anything else, because that dude is awesome. He's a great dude. I think he's a good actor, and he understands Superman really well. Like when you hear him talk about Supes, he knows what kind of character Superman is.
When
and
they
he really,
sorry,
he really wanted to like portray that, but he didn't have that kind of pull to really tell Snyder what to do with it. You know what I mean? Unlike The Witcher, where he was like, he fought for Geralt to be Geralt and not some weirdo that Netflix wanted him to be.
Ultimately, he lost that because they wanted him to be more of a backstory and then have the other. Is it Cersei, right?
Ciri.
To be more front center, and then he's like, "Well, I'm out," and that show's done now.
Now, to be fair, like Ciri eventually does take over in the line. Like people do like Ciri in the video games, in the books. So like eventually it would have got to that point. You know, another like Ellie type situation. But people love Ciri. Absolutely love her. So like it would have made sense eventually for him to be phased out. Yeah.
But whether we like it or not, but he made Geralt a hit.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even care about Witcher until I saw him in there. I'm like, oh damn, he's good at this.
Yeah.
Because and I was so excited when they brought him back into the fold, saying that Henry Cavill's coming back, and then all of a sudden they pull the rug from us and say no, he's no longer back. I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt. I'm like,
absolutely, I'm right there with you, man. Especially when they called him in for a meeting, and we're like, "Ooh, okay, James Gunn is meeting him. Maybe we're gonna see something." And then he comes out and is like, "Yeah, it's not happening, guys. I'm not Superman." But he was like, "There might be something for me in his future of DC later down the road."
I think Kingdom Come.
Ooh, Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
a little,
Interesting.
little bit of white on the side here on the hair.
Didn't the
Yeah,
CW do like their version of Kingdom Come
yeah.
Superman
Brandon
with Brandon
Ruth.
Ruth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But in the movie, I think they might do that down the road. But fine, you replaced him with David Cornsweet. I seen the trailer. I seen David Cornsweet talk, and he does sound like Superman.
Mhm.
He's got that energy of Superman,
Yeah.
right? I haven't seen the movie, but from early indications, I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
You know, am I gonna say you did good, kid, at the end? We'll
We'll
see.
see.
We'll
Yeah.
see, right?
Absolutely.
But going back to Snyder Toxic fans, it's so insane how they continue to fight about the smallest little thing. They talked about a Green Lantern. Remember the little scene where he has that hand come out of the sand in the trailer? And they're like, well, that's not how Green Lantern's powers work.
It's supposed to come from his ring, der. Like
And and I just like read that and I was like, have you read a comic book in the last 20 years?
I
Because that's exactly how his powers work.
like, okay, yes, sometimes you do see like a strand of green come out and makes a shit, but they can do it without that. They can do it without it. They put like traps on people. Hal Jordan has made jet fighters like fly out. I'm like, y'all are dumb. That was
Nobody reads the source materials.
they took the dumbest take and ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they needed something. Right? They needed something
Yep.
this week or last week or whatever it is. They need something every week to go and shit on.
Yep.
Right? And back to you, whoever you are, if you're listening or watching this, you're a Snyder fan. Look, like I said, you're allowed to like things and it's okay. But
Mhm.
what's not okay is how you're telling everybody else that he's like, they're still petitioning Snyderverse to come back. It's not coming back. They're like, there's a chance they're gonna give him his thing in Netflix. Netflix just canceled his show. What is it called again? Rebel Moon.
Rebel
That thing
Moon.
was
Yep.
hot garbage.
Oh yeah.
How come y'all
Yeah.
not talking about that garbage?
I saw fans posting like, "Oh, why doesn't just Gunn let him do his be in the Elseworld version of DC that he was spouting about?" I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen, man. It's done.
These guys think that they have all this money to throw away. Warner Brothers is in the minus right now.
Yeah, they're doing
They're
things.
hemorrhaging.
Yes. Yep.
They're not gonna go give somebody millions of dollars to do a project to appease you.
No. No, they need to make money right now. Like
This
hardcore, they need to make money.
This is a make or break movie for them right now. Superman has to be successful.
Yeah,
Otherwise, all other projects are going to get canceled.
Yep, it cannot break even for them. Even they have to make money.
What's even crazy is how some of these people won't want to support Gunn because of their love for Snyder.
Yeah,
and I get that, but here's the thing, though: you're not going to get more DC characters on the big screen or on the small screen if you don't support from the beginning.
Absolutely,
it's not happening.
Absolutely, yeah.
So my thing is, go support it in any way you can. You don't have to watch it right away. Maybe watch something else. Maybe
or watch it on a cheap night when it's like half off a movie ticket, man. You know, whatever.
I understand James Gunn's decisions are not going to be perfect. Nobody's is.
No.
But this is what you have to work with.
Yeah.
And it beats the alternative of not having nothing.
Yeah. You know, and after seeing, now I haven't watched, I know there's like a second trailer out for it now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I only stuck to the first trailer. I don't want anything spoiled for me more than what they've already shown. And like just from that first trailer alone, to me, what I get from James Gunn is he understands what Superman is and how it needs to be handled. The scene for me that particularly stood out was when that little girl was standing alone and that there was like an explosion coming out from behind her.
PVC pipes or something, yeah.
Yeah, and Superman came in like and blocked her.
She's paraplegic now.
According to the Snyderverse, yeah. They're like, why didn't she just die? I'm like, do you not understand how much control Superman has over his own powers? he knows that with
He
a
can
flick.
dance in a China room. Yeah.
Oh
Fine
yeah,
China.
like he flicks somebody, a regular person, they're dead. He understands that. The control he needs to have to like block her, like put her head down so it's covered and protect her. He understands the control that Superman needs in order to protect average everyday people. And I
Yeah.
don't think anybody understands that. And they don't understand that about Superman. The strength is astronomical and he has the finest control over himself.
Yeah.
And
There
that
was a
wasn't
scene. Yeah,
sorry,
there was a scene. That was a struggle. You finish. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that wasn't something that Superman just learned overnight. That took him from once his powers were a thing, like with the help of his parents, he understood like I really need to chill out with my power.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give an example. I know. I didn't. I said I wasn't going to give you an example from some of the stuff that was in Man of Steel wasn't here, but there was one scene in the beginning of the movie where he's in the Middle East somewhere, and he finds Lois. He punches that guy. He punches that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's dead.
That was that I think that was Batman vs Superman.
Was it Batman vs Superman?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
so I thought it was Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Okay, Batman. He punches this guy, and I'm just like, did he just kill this guy? Because he went to a brick wall. I'm like, that guy's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit. Like, Zach doesn't understand him at
No.
all here.
That dude's chest should have like caved in. There should have been a hole through him.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
that was deliberate. It wasn't even an accidental thing.
No.
It wasn't like somebody punched him and he ended up knocking him out.
Yeah.
There was a conscious decision by Superman to go boom. It's those little things add up.
Yeah,
And they
absolutely.
make a difference. They make
Absolutely.
a difference. Right?
Yeah.
And they're like complaining about Superman right now is in the trailer how he's bleeding on ice and stuff like that. Superman is not. He's not immortal. He's not.
No.
He has weaknesses. He's vulnerable, and people.
And when he meets people like at his strength level or higher, he does get hurt.
People don't think. People still think that Krypton is the only way he can get hurt.
Yeah, they really do.
There's so many dumb people. The Kryptonite is not the only thing.
Nah.
Magic hurts him.
Darkseid
Hurts him.
Mongol.
A lot of people high level power can hurt him.
Oh yeah.
This was a notion of kryptonite was something that was like 30, 40 years ago. Comics have evolved to give him more vulnerability because that's what the complaint was about Superman.
Yeah.
He's too strong. He's too boring. Okay, well, now you have magic. Now you have Darkseid. Now you've got guys that can go toe-to-toe with him. Mm-hmm. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Now people are complaining he's bleeding? Well, you wanted this.
You're in it. This is what you wanted. It's that Shia LaBeouf me.
I remember a couple of friends of mine laughing at me for liking Superman. He's like, he's boring. He gets beat up by, he gets killed by a rock. And I'm like, oh my God.
I hear you, man. I hear
like,
you.
Read a book.
Yeah. There's more to when people just see like the superficial side or what they deem to think is a superficial side of Superman, which is strong, he's fast, he flies, he's invulnerable. That's so boring, guys. Like, why doesn't he just do things? I'm like, there's more to him than that. You really haven't. What this tells me is you've read nothing or even watched anything about Superman ever.
And
ever. You're just ignorant.
It's not just Superman. A lot of other characters have evolved as well. Flash has evolved. Batman has evolved.
Yeah.
Right? These characters have evolved over time because comic book writers brought in interesting takes.
Absolutely.
To elevate more of the character stories.
Yeah.
Right? Superman never flew. Remember, leaps over tall buildings? He never flew.
Yeah.
That was introduced later on, where he's able to fly on a consistent basis.
I miss him having him able to create a small counterpart of himself. Do you remember that in the older comics?
Yes.
He created a miniature version of himself, and that little dude would go and do shit. I was like, bring it back.
Don't bring it back. Don't bring it back. No, I don't want to see this. Maybe they should do that and call it Snyder versus Superman. Here you go. You want a Snyder-Man Superman? He can do. Oh, that's when Henry Cavill comes back. Your name be David Corset?
What was his name? David Corset's little version of himself. Okay, Superman, I got this.
Henry's back. Everybody wins. And you know, look, we make fun of the title "Our Snyder Fans Toxic." We're just asking the question. If you are watching this and you're a Snyder fan, or if you're not, leave us in the comments section below. Are you toxic? Are they toxic? Let me know. It's just so comical to hear people complaining about this Superman. Look, I don't like the costume of the Superman. It's growing on me, but it's not what I would have had in my mind. I prefer the Henry Cavill one more
because it's similar to the New 52 style.
Yeah, but this is growing on me. But if this is the only thing I'm going to complain about, that means that movie is pretty good.
Fair.
Right?
Absolutely fair.
So when I go watch the movie, I'm going to come back. And I'm telling you right now, I am a Superman fan, but I am going to give it to you 100%.
Oh, yeah. I will be looking at this movie through a very microscopic eye. And I'm going to scrutinize. If there's things to scrutinize, I will scrutinize it.
Absolutely. I am going to lay waste to it if it deserves to be lay wasted.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like you, I'm a big Superman fan as well. Yeah. And like, I really want to see this succeed. Like,
I want to succeed for all the right reasons. We get more. We get more DC characters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really want to see them develop a proper Justice League.
Yeah. And Darkseid should not be the first big bad you fight. That dude is a god level tier freaking enemy, man. He should not have been the person you just get right away.
Snyder was playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was doing with Marvel, playing catch up.
Because they had Thanos already.
Because I think, but you also can't look at just say, well, Snyder, maybe it was the executive saying, let's push this faster.
Right? That's a good point. Yeah.
Right. We can't, absolutely. We don't know that behind closed doors, a lot of conversation could have taken place.
Yeah.
Right. I just think that his decisions on having Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I did not like.
Yeah, that was an odd choice, man. Very odd choice.
He looks nothing like Aquaman.
The dude who played his brother in that movie should have been Aquaman instead.
Oh man, give him some blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he would have made a great Arthur Curry.
Which is why they replaced him. He's no longer Aquaman.
He's Lobo now.
And it fits him.
Yeah. It makes sense.
You can't even see him as Aquaman anymore. When you look at Lobo, you're like, that's what he should have been playing always.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
From the get-go. Yeah.
And he's going to be in the Supergirl movie, which I'm excited for as well. I hope it's done well.
Yeah. I hope so too, man.
Lobo is one of the main characters in there.
Really? In the Supergirl movie?
I've seen screenshots already of him driving the bike.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There's leaked images of him, and he looks the part. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Jack got the black jacket with the dreadlocks and the gray skin tone.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of exciting.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Right? So
yeah.
I just want Snyder fans to just chill. Take a deep breath. You're not going to get back Snyderverse. I'm sorry. Maybe as an animation, okay. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Animation is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, true.
Maybe they say throw a bone at them, like say, some anniversary edition where they do like an animation series. Yeah. If I was Zach, that's what I'd be pushing for. Hey, let me do an animation.
I mean, if I were the fans, just make your own damn movie of it and get AI to do it for you, so that way you have it.
In a couple of years, you'll probably be able to do that.
Yeah. If you want your outlet, if you want to live out your fantasy of wanting a Snyderverse, go make it on AI, man.
Get a Snyder fans GoFundMe page going. Put money together. And get AI to do this shit.
Yeah.
There you go. Have some people write some stories and you do an AI. Just chill. Have some fun. Enjoy life.
Yeah,
it's just a movie. I know I love movies too, and I get very passionate about things when they go wrong. But at the end of the day, Warner Brothers has moved on. And so should you guys. Move on. You can still watch the other ones. You can still root for Snyder and his other future endeavors. I mean, like I said to people, if he's so great, then why did Rebel Moon get canceled?
They should be supporting him, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. If they think Snyder's so good, all those fans should be supporting everything he does, not just one particular genre or like franchise.
And Rebel Moon, by the way, the main storyline was this is an intergalactic enemy that wants their wheat.
Star Wars?
No, they want their wheat, their crops. That was the storyline for Rebel Moons.
Oh, so like Dune?
Intergalactic baddies are coming to this certain planet because they want their wheat in their farm.
Okay, interesting.
So they
Not
made
really?
this. They made this intergalactic spaceship, but they can't make synthetic wheat.
That doesn't even make sense.
They can make a
That
ship
doesn't
that
make sense.
traverses through galaxies or through solar systems, and they can't figure out how to make bread.
We know about space and intergalactic travel and high-tech weaponry, but when it comes to vegetables and fruits and agriculture,
Flour.
we know jack shit.
Yeah.
Cool. What a story. What a story.
And you know the crazy part is every time there's a fight scene, he does that famous Zack Snyder slow-mo, and then he speeds it up. Slow-mo.
But he didn't make that slow-mo. He
No,
didn't.
but I'm just saying that he does that in every scene in Rebel Moon.
Like
Every fight scene.
I'm pretty sure the Matrix started that first, man.
It's so annoying.
But they give the accolades to Snyder like he was the one that did it. I'm like,
no, he's the one that abused it and did the most.
Yes, yeah.
It's so
Sad.
blatantly obvious in the Rebel Moon. I got numb watching it. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And when they announced this project, I was excited for Zach. I'm like, cool, let the man do his thing. Like, I like space. I like this. I'm like, okay, let's see what.
Because that story was supposed to be originally a Star Wars plan for him.
He pitched this as a Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah. But they were like, nah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, do your thing, right? Let's see what you got cooking here. I supported Snyder even after he did all that with DC, because I was mad what direction he went with DC, but I still supported Snyder in his future endeavors.
Right.
Because I don't hate the man. And I'm like, let's see what he's cooking here, because, hey, if he has something that's really cool, I get to enjoy it. I love space. I'm a nerd about the stuff. And if you give me something to watch and I enjoy it, fantastic.
Right.
Right. So I supported that. And then I started watching it. And I'm like, this thing really sucks. I was like, wow, this is a piece of garbage.
Oh, shit.
Like, what am I watching? I don't even understand what they're doing. And then the plot line comes out clear that they're fighting over galactic wheat bread.
That's weird, man.
First of all, it's carbohydrate. Should be eating too much bread. Okay? But it was just so stupid. It's so many levels.
Well, I'm never gonna watch it. I'm never gonna watch it.
I'm not even saying this out of smite or anything. This movie, the two movies that he did, it will make your head just go numb of sheer stupidity. And the fight scenes are even more depressing. I was like, why are you doing a slow speed up every time?
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
Anyways, July 11th, a new era of DC begins in live action movies. They've already done one, The Creature Commander, which was not that good. So that's not good for James Gunn that he's starting.
Same with Blue Beetle, because that technically James Gunn supported
it, but I don't think they're going to add that into the universe.
I think they made a mistake giving him a movie right out the bat, man. Like Blue Beetle
that movie was already in play. That was the problem.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was already in play prior to them getting the keys to the castle.
Yeah, because when I heard they were
same thing with Batgirl, remember?
Right.
That got shelved though. That got shelved.
So when I heard that they were doing Blue Beetle, I was like, on his own? That's nobody really knows Blue Beetle. The hardcore DC fans do, but a general population has no idea who this guy is.
Terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Terrible mistake. We'll see how it goes now. It's a reset now of to an extent. July 11th, like I said, let's see what this happens. Like, it's got to be good, man. It has to be good. Otherwise, DC's in a whole lot of trouble. And why would anybody want that? If obviously, if you're a hater, you're a hater. But anyone who's a fan of comics, whether you're Marvel or DC, I'm both. Yeah. I love both. I want to see everything succeed, right? I want to see it succeed, but it's got to make sense too. You know, it's got to have good storyline, but you have the source material. We keep talking about this for everything that we watch. The source material is already there.
Yeah.
Hammer that. That's all you
And
have to do.
if James Gunn can't get a Superman movie to go, it's like who in the world can at that point? Like they haven't really seen success with Superman since Christopher Reeve.
People are saying online that if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's going to fail. That's incorrect, by the way. It just needs to make 500 million to make money,
Right.
but expectations should be closer to $1 billion worldwide.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got to make Daredevil or doing Deadpool money. It's got to get close to Deadpool money. And so if it's teetering around 800 to 900, I'll consider that a success.
I think for me, if it does better than what marketing money and like production value they put into it, if it does better than that, it's fine. Yeah.
500.
Because that will just warrant them for a sequel. Yeah.
It will. But for me, I would love to see it push up to that level to silence a lot of people.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
Because what do you say to that then? Oh, all you people are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just sheeps going watching a movie. Well, then you could say that about every successful movie then.
Very true.
Were there a lot of sheeps to watch Deadpool?
Right.
Avatar? I don't know. Go name a whole bunch of Titanic. We can go on. The list goes on, right?
Why are you just naming James Cameron movie, dog?
Well, they're the most successful movies, right? I mean, I don't know what to say. Avengers Endgame?
There you go.
There you go. You happy? Black Panther 1.
You know my hate for James Cameron.
Oh, I forgot about that. I can't wait for Avatar 3.
We're gonna go watch it. The Fire Nation will be there. Don't worry.
Yeah. Sponsored by Taco Bell.
Shit.
There's some fire in those chilatas. Maximum effort. Anyways, we had a maximum effort today's show. We are going to be back. Sheldon and I will be back to talk next week about some cool stuff in Hollywood. If you've got any ideas of things that we should talk about, let us know in the comment section below. We'll also take some snippets of things that we're going to do from our videos and put it up for, like, if you want to consume certain parts of our show, we'll be doing that. They'll be called A&R clips or something like that. We'll definitely do this one because it's going to rattle some cages. But you can send all your hate mail to Sheldon. He's more than willing to answer all your hate mail.
Yes, I will just forward it today.
And with that, we're going to give you guys a salute and say have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Up.